Hey guys, Thomas the Silly Genie here, aka Mustached, here to review The Mean One. If you end up enjoying this full review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description. One will head you over to my petition to help out smaller YouTubers, second and third to my Patreon and PayPal where you can help support me and the channel directly, and fourth to my Discord server where you can join and share your content there as well as potentially collab with other YouTubers there. And shilling will be a reminder at the end of the review. With all of that out of the way, let's get into The Mean One. Now, I saw the trailer for this at least twice, and when I initially saw the trailer, I was like, huh. So, they're doing the whole Winnie the Pooh thing after this still. And now other movies are coming out of, like, already established characters in other forms of, like, well, horror in this instance. Might as well check it out. And check it out I did. So, here's my full review of The Mean One, with all that out of the way. So the movie starts off with a young girl named Cindy. I believe that is a direct reference to the original Cindy Lou of Whoville. I think that's her original name, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. And as she's prepping up for Christmas with her mom, she sees her mother get attacked and by this unknown entity, and she calls the thing that she saw a monster. As then, after this little attack, we cut to 20 years later. So we see 20-something-year-old Cindy heading back to Newsville. And a cop pulls them over, telling them to essentially put down their decorations from their car. The guy who pulls her over is like this cop, but he's like sort of flirty-ish with Cindy, and as soon as he leaves, the dad kind of nags her on, saying like, oh, isn't that guy cute? But as Cindy gets to the house, she's spooked by this bat, and she's still suffering from PTSD from the initial attack all this time later, these 20 years that have passed. But during this, after their little worm setup, the father is attacked while she's outside. So she goes over what happened, and the cop from all that time ago from her past is the one to see her again this time. So the dad obviously dies in this pretty quickly. So she ends up in the hospital and she's freaking out. And she's being told to calm down as the mayor heads in and tells her that they're going to try to do whatever they can. So she's guided back home with the cop from before named Bert. When they arrive near her house, she freaks out again because of the reminiscence of the attack that just happened this time. And as she's sort of looking around her own home, she spots a strange yellow flower. So she heads out with it in hand outside, and she's taking pictures out in the mountain, and she gets rushed spooked. She takes one of her pictures, and she proceeds to see someone else getting attacked. Obviously, based off of the look, we'll just call him the Grinch, even though he's called the Mean One in the movie. So Cindy tries to get the lady to recall what she saw, but she doesn't seem to have been completely blindsided, unfortunately. And the main cop is trying to stop her from, like, you know, getting this woman all riled up or whatever. She gives what she found, this wallet, to Bert and says to keep on the lookout. Meanwhile, the mayor starts putting up some flyers because she's all worried about a future election. All the while, we cut to a bus full of drunkards. And they all indulge in this shop lady's delights of drink, and one of them's like flirting with her, but like after she like pushes him away, she's like, the guy's like dragged away, and she gets like locked in the room as the Grinch comes out, and he kills them one by one in various different manners. Now the blood and gore in this is obviously a little low budget, as the fake blood spurts are made pretty obvious and remnant throughout the entire runtime of the movie. I will say that is the one downside of this clearly low-budgeted film, but I will say, they tried. They really, really tried outside of that to have this work. And they even have a narrator saying, like, all this stuff throughout the night and all that cool stuff. So, after this attack, the owner gets freed and she sees the damage that has been done. So we cut back to our lead as she's like trying to get back home, and she is attacked once more, but this time an old man saves her from the Grinch, and they go to a bar after the fact where he tells her, because she's so uncertain of what like this has been this entire time, so he tells her that this particular being hates Christmas, and he gets close to calling him the Grinch, but then he gets cut off every time, so he just calls him the Mean One, making a direct reference to the title of the movie. And even goes as far as to say that his own wife got attacked 11 years ago, so he was also a victim of the Grinch's attacks. So she's like, well, I can tell the cop now, but the cop's still like, no, the main cop, the sheriff cop. But Bert's like, alright, I'll go check the mountain. Off the clock. And he finds a lot more wallets very easily as soon as he does. Unfortunately, in the process, a toy starts making some noise, so the Grinch moves in. He hides under a sheet, and he manages to escape, and bumps into the old man. We learn he's a doc, and his old last name is Zeus at this point. He tells Bert to go home and not to do anything Christmassy to avoid getting killed in the process. But after that, he goes to Cindy and confesses to her that he was making advances towards her. But later on, we cut to a nightmare sequence where she's taking a shower, they kiss, and he gets the attack, as she's again having a nightmare here. And she's so upset about this that she starts to begin being like, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna start training physically and with guns alike. So we cut to a montage of her training, getting all swollen, big and in charge. All the while we get the old man getting stopped by the sheriff and getting arrested to make sure he's not doing anything. All the while, this other store, completely off the wayside, gets this wrong order of toys, and the Grinch hears it. That little jingle is all he needs to get in there and start killing again, so he does so. So the mayor visits the sheriff and tells him to, like, you know, make sure that things are staying under the rug, which leaves a lot of sus. Bert then shows all the missing hikings that happened to Cindy, and he puts two and two together that the mayor has been luring more people from outside the town to inside the town to protect the people who are already inside the town. So, pretty fucked up shit regardless. But Cindy is done being a victim, as she tells Bert, while he's like saying to not do this, not go too far, etc., etc. All the while, the mayor has her music start bumping out randomly. I'll admit this is probably the most random excuse to have her get killed off, but she does. So, yeah, her head gets lobbed off. So the sheriff knew of this, of the attacks, even saw the creature himself. So he was the one who has been keeping it under the rug this entire time. So Doc gets to Cindy about Bert already going out in advance. But Bart's already out in the mountains singing Christmas songs, but he goes to a Jewish song because he's Jewish. But he ends up getting caught in a trap. Luckily, he gets saved by the sheriff before the Grinch can finish him off, and Cindy and Doc get there shortly after the fact. So the sheriff sings, and he gets attacked, and he gets killed, though. She begins to blame herself after coming back and the want for revenge, but the doc tells her that, like, this is gonna happen next year anyway, so we still have to do something about this. So she goes home and lights up for the Christmas snag. All the while, when the Grinch sneaks in, the doc snipes from the outside. The Grinch attempts to attack the doc, but she helps defend him, but it's too late. Or, well, no, it's not too late. He kind of gets damaged, but not killed here. So she lures him back inside with all of these weapons that are just oh so well decorated. Flames them up with some tree burnings, and sees this thing that she recognizes, and she sees this being as her dad, question mark? I think that's what they were going for, and he just got green skin somehow, like he painted himself green for whatever reason, I don't know. The whole backstory thing is a little bit stupid, I think. Making it her father, I think, is a bit stupid too, honestly. At least in execution. This, again, I think they could have made this work with a little bit more time, but they kind of rushed this, so, But she forgives him, and then he blows up, and then it's, you know, the whole, like, his heart grew 3 times that size, so he blew up, I guess. And some certain amount of time passes, a year, question mark, I don't know. We see Cindy hanging out with Bert, and they check in with the doc, as he's now the new sheriff, and they're now a new couple, and they kiss, and the narrator signs us off, warning that this will all be, that everything has come to a beautiful wrap until next year, question mark, question mark, question mark, as we hear a growl in the distance. And that was the mean one. I would say outside of the rushed backstory of what the Grinch is, I think this movie, as cheesy and corny as it is, tries its best despite its corniness. So, you know, I think that's worth something. probably actually give this movie like a decent 6 out of 10. Like I said, I think that there are a few things that they could have patched up here. Since this is a horror movie, I think it is unfortunate that they have to cut away from the violence because of the whole budgetary thing. That's a very obvious, unfortunate thing on that end. So yeah, that's the only thing on that front. And then again, with the backstory is probably what would have sold me on the 7 out of 10 is if they'd really played that up a little bit longer, or like explained that a little bit better through exposition or something or other. Anyways, still an okay movie for a low budget like horror parody thing. So yeah, check it out if you have the time and want to see some cheesy fun, I guess, with violence and a version of the Grinch that is a little bit fun, I guess, or indifferent and violent. Anyways, that's my full review of The Mean One. If you ended up enjoying it, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out those links in the description. And one will head over to my petition to help out smaller YouTubers. So get it there to my Patreon and PayPal, where you can help support me and the channel directly. And fourth, to my Discord server, where you can join, share your content there, and collab with other smaller YouTubers for free. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye!